Hello everybody and welcome back to TTL. Round number 12 takes us to the Belgium Grand Prix, and my name is Kieran McGinley, and in the studio today I'm joined by Noah. Noah, how you doing?
Hi, pretty good. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Looking forward to today?
Yep.
Great stuff. So we now head into the driver standing then. So Darren Sinclair is at the top of the table on 194. Blizzard in second on 157. Lambo is third on 124. Troy is in fourth on 113. Siege is fifth on 84 points. Spike in sixth on 81. Squeezy is in seventh on 49 points. The Gort is in eighth on 41. Maze in ninth on 36. Technique in 10th on 33. Steph is 11th on 30 points. Weed Nation and Lighty tied on 12th with 25 points. Frank is 14th on 24 points. Crazy is in 15th on 22 points. Poe in 16th on 18. Ollie is in 17th on 17 points. Fletcher Boy 18th on 15 points. Humbug is 19th on 8 points. Alan Kay is 20th on 6 points. Plaster 21st on 3 points. Joint 22nd. Pazels and Sean both on 2 points. Looking at the constructors table then, a massive lead in the constructors for Haas. They're on 243. Second place Williams with 157. Sauber third on 146. Force India in fourth, only 4 points behind on 142. McLaren are fifth on 133. Red Bull in sixth on 84. Mercedes are seventh with 77 points. Ferrari in eighth on 62. Ninth are Renault on 36 points, and Toro Rosso are in 10th place on 29 points. So the Belgian Grand Prix then, 22 laps today we're having around this 7-kilometre circuit. Race distance is around about 154 kilometres today, with the race lap record set by Sebastian Vettel in the 2017 Grand Prix, a 146.5. And well, Noah, looking at some of the time trial times before we came into this session, looking at sort of 141s and 142s, you'd expect drivers to smash that record today?
Yep.
Yeah, what I mean, Noah, you've been racing around Belgium for a while now, have you? Is it one of the favourite tracks for some of the drivers?
Yeah, I gotta say too, with the high speed the high speed straights and the heavy braking zones, you gotta really watch out for walking up into those corners and ruining that set of tires and from flat spotting them while walking up.
And in terms of league racing today, then I'm not sure how much league racing you do, Noah, in F1 2017.
Not much.
Not much. But are we expecting to see a one-stop today? Maybe super softs onto mediums with that rain inbound towards the end of the race?
I'd say going with a two-stop, trying to go from super softs at the beginning, go to mediums, and then go to intermediates. Or if you're really good with your tires and conserving, I'd say go from super soft, try to run it all the way till the rain, and go down to intermediates. Or we might see some people running softs at the beginning, or maybe mediums.
So it's totally wide open then as to what drivers could go on. Of course, if you watched the last race, you'll know that pretty much the rain came about 6 laps towards the end, and the rain was so heavy, in fact, that everyone made that mad dash into the pit lane to put on a set of intermediate tyres. We are getting that same sort of result today in terms of the weather. We are going to have a bit of cloud in the first 2 slots of the race, and then light rain towards the end. Of course, we don't know when that rain is coming. All we know is it's in the last third of the race. Qualifying, though, is partly sunny to partly cloudy, so the track temperature might drop slightly in qualifying, but shouldn't affect the lap times too much. So then, Noah, who's your money on then for taking pole position?
I gotta go with Blizzard because this track is so similar to Spain, which is it's the closest track to what we've ran so far. And Blizzard seemed to show so much pace in qualifying in the racing and that, so it's kind of hard to go against him.
Excellent stuff. Well, we have 20 drivers here for this Belgian Grand Prix, which is always great to see. We do have a warning from the race control, or the stewards, Troy is carrying a 5-second penalty with him that will be added to the end of this race. So just bear in mind then, people in the stream might have to remind me of that, because come an hour and a half away I'll completely forget that. So yeah, so Troy will have a 5-second penalty added to the end of his race time in this race. But in qualifying then, no qualifying bans, dry session throughout. We should be expecting some very quick times, I hope.
Yeah.
So let's get all of this data up then. And Noah, it's your first time in the commentary box. How are you feeling in here?
Nervous.
Nervous. Yeah, honestly, mate, don't worry too much about it. I tend to hog the mic, as the people in the stream will definitely know. But here's something for you. Steph there might chance it on a set of super soft tyres, maybe teasing us. Ollie also going on to a set of super softs as well, as it's normally a Haas or a Williams out on track first, and today out first is Squeezy, followed very closely by Crazy. Then we're running on board with Squeezy at the moment, Noah. Coming down the Kemmel Straight now. How important is it to get the right balance in the car then? A lot of corners, but again, a lot of straights here.
Well, you just want to get the right balance so your car will turn and you don't have too much understeer going in, because if you just have too much understeer in your car at that moment, then you can just completely throw your whole lap out the window, and then that's basically like 4 minutes in qualifying thrown out the window. And we've seen that from precious minutes in qualifying are so important, because we have seen people run their lap times down, and as soon as qualifying hits 0:00, they'll come to complete or to start their flying lap, and that's when they'll just jump right up the order. So I mean, qualifying the time is just so important, so keeping your lap times consistent.
Absolutely. And if you had to choose between low drags for the straights or high downforce for these fast corners, what would you go for?
See, I'd go for more lower drag, because just how much a high-speed track this is, and I try to put some more ballast in the rear just to have a little bit more turn in through the corners, just to make sure I wasn't under turning, so I could have a quick lap on the straights and be good through the corners.
So then, here comes Squeezy then, or who are you?
Crazy Leg just had an amazing tank slapper come out of that turn with this amazing stave, and he just did it again. That's probably going to hurt his lap time tremendously.
Yeah, but normally in a session like this, where the track was going to remain dry for the entire session, probably the drivers are looking at just setting a banker lap for now and seeing how it goes, which is always fun, as we real first flying lap. I'm hoping this lag and this internet connection behaves itself from time to time, as heading through that now towards No Name. And then towards this fast left-hander of Huon, and let's see, does he drop the gear? Does he lift off heading through? Yes, he does lift off. In fact, he's gone wide. He's oversteered. Can he keep it out of the wall? Oh, no, he can't. And he's got front wing damage there on the left-hand side, has Squeezy Lemon, and that will be a trip to the pit lane then to get some front wing repairs. So we're going to ride with Crazy then, as he heads now around turn 14 through 15 here. You've got to watch the tyre wear as well around this track. Belgium is one of the longest circuits on the calendar, in fact the longest at 7 kilometres. If it starts to rain during the race, then it's got to be essential you know when to pit, because the difference here between setting a lap on a wet track with slick tyres and being on those inters could be the difference between a podium and maybe no points at all. So Crazy there sets a 1:44.8. Spike setting a 1:43.9. That is 0.8 quicker than Crazy Legs. And no, as you said, maybe Crazy Legs locking up into the last corner and then into La Source hairpin might have cost him some time there.
And I gotta say, I have seen a lot of locking up in this session. I think the drivers may have maybe pushing down on the brake sort, or may just have their brake bias way too far up. I've seen a lot of lockups so far.
Blizzard there, 143.9. Sets that. Spike was on top before. Lambo is set a 143 as well, and look at that, half a tenth down on Blizzard right now, so amazingly close at the top there. Traw currently in 4th place, 144.1. Darren Sinclair 144.3, with Poe 144.6, Crazy 144.8, Technique 144.8. Ollie on a set of super soft tyres sets a 146.0. Blood and Sand on his debut in TTL as a reserve driver, setting a 146.6. Plaster a 147.1. Those are the lap times we have so far. So let's see who is closest to the line then. We had another driver on a lap, I believe, or maybe that's my eyes playing tricks on me. We'll see the Gort then heading through turn 15 now on a set of super soft tyres. We'll have to see then what the Gort can do on those sets of tyres. Flying now through turn 16, through Blanchimont, and then through 17 towards the what was called the old bus stop chicane. Now it's just the chicane. And it's all about getting that exit of the last corner absolutely spot on here. And it looks like the Gort got that nailed there. Flying towards the line, and it's a 146.1. So 11th place for the Gort then, on a set of super soft tyres. Now we saw in the race in 2017, Noah, that the ultra soft tyres, even in a full length race, only lasted around about 5 or 6 laps. So how important is it that the drivers actually are careful on their tyres in this session?
Well, I'd say it's very important, because if you're planning on going quite a bit of a distance to make it only a one stop when you pit for those intermediates, I think it's important that you just maintain your tires and watch what you're doing with them, and make sure you do not lock them up or spin the rears. That's one of the most important things not to do. Or if you're planning on going on to like mediums or super softs, I'd say you could push them a little bit harder, but still you want to avoid. Oh, and looks like Pastel's just had an amazing spin going out of that corner. But I just gotta say that I think it's important anyway, no matter what kind of compound you're running, that it's important to watch your tires, because this track is so brutal on them.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of yellow flags in Sector 3 and Sector 1. That is Z3 who's binned it. That is coming out of yeah, that's Eau Rouge and Radion. So he's clipped the curb there, maybe on the inside, and headed straight to the scene of the accident. So Z3 then out of qualifying, having not set a time. Scary place to lose the car altogether. We saw in 2017 as well that Kevin Magnussen went straight backwards into the wall at the top of Radion there. Must be a scary place to lose that car, because once you've lost it, there's pretty much no chance of you getting the car back.
Yeah, because you're going about full speed as you go through those 2 corners, and when you lose the rear end, you just feel absolutely hopeless, and all you can do is basically lock it down and try to keep it out of the wall at that moment.
So just a couple of updates then. The Gort has got himself into the top 10 at 145.5, and Ollie, who was in the top 10 at that point, just been knocked out of that top 10 spot by around about 0.04 of a second. So actually this field is quite close when you come to think about it. Definitely the top 5 here are within half a second of each other. So that is very encouraging to see as we head towards the race.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Sinclair right now though, let's see what he's set his best tyres on. So that's interesting. Darren Sinclair then is on a set of super soft tyres for his second run. Now that's interesting. I think maybe Darren Sinclair here is thinking he can go faster on those super soft tyres, and if he can, he'll get to start on them. That is odd. I mean, I would say to go for the super softs first, but you know, I'm not the one driving the car at the moment. Here comes Squeezy towards the line. 1:49.1, and he'll have to go again because the lap time did not count. Let's see who is out on circuit right now. We've got a couple of drivers out there. Light E also out on circuit. Steph as well. Alan, Mays and Light E basically all going for a strategy that means they only go once. Which, well, around Belgium, maybe sometimes you only get one chance. It's a 12-minute session. 1 minute 44 laps, 1 minute 43 as we're seeing. So it's a long out lap, long in lap. And so the guys here are just going for the one single lap around the circuit. At the moment then, Blizzard tops the tables with a 1:43.9, currently on an out lap. Spike meanwhile is on a flying lap as he heads down towards turn number 8, flying through No Name now. And I'm wondering here if Spike is actually lifting off and coasting, so I think he's putting another outlap on these tyres, which is a little bit of a risk considering it's a 50% race, and maybe those Ultrasofts may only last 4 or 5 laps when it comes to the race. Darren Sinclair as well, coming through turns 12 and 13 as he heads towards turn 14. Remember, he has already qualified on the ultra soft tyres, so let's have a look at his sector 2 time. Well, there's no delta, so that helps us. Crazy Legs has retired from the session. He realises he's not going to improve, so he retires from the session. Lighty has gone 5th fastest, 1:44.2, as Mays there 1:45.1, as Darren Sinclair then heading towards the final chicane. We'll have to see now what sort of lap times he's going to set. Heading towards the start-finish line now. Can Darren Sinclair improve on his time? Yes, he can. 1:43.9 on a set of super soft tyres. That is an incredible time from Darren Sinclair. Well, Blizzard has to respond now. Heading towards the line now to start his outlap with 14 seconds to go. Spike there, 1:43.945, already has set a lap time, but it wasn't a representative one. As he now heads on his flying lap. Lambo, exactly the same draw as well. Checkered flag falls, and Technique crosses the line to set a 1:44.0, puts him in 5th place. But Noah, what a lap time from Darren Sinclair so far.
It's just absolutely amazing to see someone on a harder compounded tire actually put in a faster time than someone on a softer compound tire. And both of these drivers are amazingly fast, and it just proves the amount of speed that you must have at this track when you're able to top in that kind of time. Looks like we may have another driver topping the charts on ultra soft tires.
Absolutely, Traw setting a 1:43.7 on those ultra soft tyres. This is when the ultra softs are going to start to kick in. The track's at its best right now, so expect to see some faster lap times laid down as quite a few drivers are retiring. Here comes Light E towards the line, 10th down through sector 2, and he lifts off there. We make sure those tyres aren't used for the race, so Light E at the moment qualifies in 7th place. Here comes Spike then towards the last chicane, locks up heading in. That wouldn't affect him too much because of the connection I have to him. Anyway, heads towards the line now, Spike. Can he get a time on there? Yes, he can. It's a 1:43.742. And he misses out on pole position by 0.02 of a second, basically. Blizzard then heading towards the line. Lambo, 1:43.901. Very close at the top here. Here comes Blizzard towards the line. 1:42.9. Smashes everybody out of the park there. And at the moment, provisional pole as we end the session there then. So then, Blizzard will take pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix. So let's just give a quick run through then. Blizzard pole position, Traw in 2nd, Spike 3rd, Lambo 4th, Darren Sinclair 5th, Technique 6th, Lighty 7th, Steph in 8th, Squeezy 9th, Poe in 10th, Weed Nation 11th, Crazy 12th, Alan K 13th, Maze 14th, The Gore in 15th, Ollie 16th, Blood and Sand 17th, Plaster 18th, Z3 19th, and Pazels did not set a time. So then, that is qualifying over for the Belgian Grand Prix. We'll move very shortly then on to the race. And, well, no, there is a strategic advantage here maybe for Darren Sinclair. He may be starting in 5th place, but remember he's on those super soft tyres, and he'll be able to run longer into his first stint.
Yes, and I think that's a huge advantage too, because if he is planning on doing a 2-stop, maybe he can actually perform a 1-stop on these tires and try to run it out and see when the storm hits. But if he can run out enough laps and maybe make the overcut on a lot of drivers and go right to the ultra softs, I feel like that'll give him a huge advantage, and maybe, just maybe, he might be able to get the win today.
And maybe with that rain on the horizon towards the end of this race, he might be planning to do 2 stints on super soft tyres and take the risk towards the end of the race to go on a set of intermediate tyres. We're going to go for the formation lap then, as the drivers then are underway for their formation lap. And we get to see then what the guys outside of the top 10 have decided to put on. Everybody outside of the top 10 has decided to put on a set of soft tyres here. So yeah, they're looking to run very long into all of their stints and see when that rain will come. So yeah, on a track that's very high in tyre wear, is it surprising to see that we have all of the drivers outside of the top 10 on some soft tyres?
No, because honestly, I think if I was outside the top 10, I would also be going for strategy and trying to perform a smart strategy that would able to get me like into the top 5 or the top 10 to get those point scoring positions, because you're looking just to get a good finish at the track when you qualify outside the top 10. And I feel like that's a brilliant move from these guys going onto the soft tires and maybe trying to go for the 1-stop onto the intermediates when the rain hits.
Absolutely. Well, Troy, who's qualified in 2nd place today, might be hoping to try and make a move into La Source on Blizzard. Remember, he does have a 5-second penalty added to the end of his race, as awarded by the stewards last time out. So he's got a lot on his plate right now, but I never rule Troy out. That's a rule of thumb in TTL. We've also got Spike in 3rd place, 2nd row of the grid, followed by Lambo. Expect some fireworks between those two. And of course we have Darren Sinclair, who is the only driver starting on a set of super soft tyres. Might be having a little bit of a lonely race for his first stint, but watch out for him as this race develops. So we have again season 7 champion Crazy Legs on a set of soft tyres as he looks to try and rush his way back to the grid, as he's well, in his haste he's teleported back there. But well, here come the front runners then towards the grid, and we'll see in just a short while what will happen down into turn 1. We saw Roman Grosjean here cause a massive pile-up in 2012. Hopefully we won't see anything like that today. Let's hope the drivers behave themselves into the first hairpin. So a long race, Spa, and it's not very far away.
Well, I think it's a big possibility for some drivers to try to be like Max Verstappen into the first corner and maybe cause a Grosjean incident. Maybe not. I'm hoping for a clean start. What are you?
I'm hoping for exactly the same, as here we are then for the Belgian Grand Prix. 5 red lights. Round 12 is underway, and what are the starts like? Looks like a Ferrari at the back there. Didn't get away well at all. Maybe put it into anti-stall. Here they come then into the first corner, and Draw has the outside line. Can he keep the grip then? No, he can't. Blizzard then will hold on to the lead, but have a look at them as they head through Eau Rouge and Radion now. Are they going to try and make it too wide going up Eau Rouge? The Force India and the Red Bull side by side, and that is Spike backing out of the move. He doesn't want anything involved there, and that is Steph. Steph is off. Steph is off. Weed Nation is off as well as Ollie. It's a massive pile up here coming out of Radion. That's 3 drivers out of this race.
Just an absolute chaotic start. And I mean, Ollie was doing so good with the start. He was up 4 positions, and then that happened.
Well, 3 drivers out of this race then. Lighty trying to go down the inside of Darren Sinclair. Remember, Darren Sinclair on the super soft tyres. He's starting to fall down this field. Him and Lighty are trying to go side by side through No Name, and they do make contact, but Lighty emerges unscathed then. Up into P6 he goes then, and Darren Sinclair running a little bit wide as well. He's struggling on these tyres, and he's really starting to fall down the field right now. He's had a terrible start to this race. Let's have a look at other battles on the field then. Technique is right on the tail of Spike as this battle starts to resume. This is turning into a little bit of a rivalry here as Technique on the back of Spike. Meanwhile, Traw and Lambo here. Oh, sorry, Traw and Blizzard fighting for the lead here. Traw is a man on a mission right now. Could he try and move down into the chicane then? Oh, he's thinking about it, trying to get the inside line. He'll have the outside line for the last turn. Might give him a better exit heading down towards La Source Hairpin. And they're very close then as they head towards the first corner here then. Traw thought about a move down the inside, but not quite. And he might focus on his exit here on towards Eau Rouge and Radion. As Blizzard might have tapped the wall very slightly there. They're making their way up the hill now. It's a lot steeper than you think, Eau Rouge. And then through Radion, through the DRS zone and through the Kemmel Straight now. Blizzard instantly having to go defensive as they head down towards Le Combe. And they are side by side still. Blizzard has the inside for the first right-hander. It might not give him the exit he needs though. Looks like Blizzard at the moment is in control, but only just, Noah.
Yes, I think that he's starting to really struggle and get pressure put on him from behind, and maybe, just maybe, Raz trying to force a mistake on him so he can find an open spot. May cause him to come off the track. It's just a matter of time.
Absolutely, we did lose the back end there heading through Pouhon, and this could be an opportunity for Lambo to put some pressure on Traw here as Darren Sinclair further back is starting to make up positions here. He's passed Poe through Pouhon there and up back into 8th place as we have a look at this battle now for 2nd place, and Poe here is falling down the grid now. He's got a bit of front end plate off as well on that right hand side, and he might have to be coming back to the pits for that as it's all action all over the place. Here comes Squeezy trying to go down the inside of Light E through 16, through Blanchimont, and now through 17. They are side by side as they head towards the old bus stop chicane. They make contact there, and Squeezy there. Light E then trying to go up the inside and trying to go around the outside now. DRS enabled. That's going to allow that is Darren Sinclair there, the Haas there, to try and take advantage here. But can he make the move on Light E's stick? Round the outside they go then, but at the moment they're all holding their stations then. Darren Sinclair really eager to try and get past Light E now. It looked like coming through those series of corners there was contact between Squeezy and Light E there.
Yeah, it definitely looked like there were. And I mean, they were absolutely battling it out.
Here comes Darren Sinclair then right in the slipstream of Light E, trying to go around the outside as they head towards Les Combes. And they are still running side by side, but Light E takes the line then and keeps hold of 7th place for now. Runs a little bit wide though, and now here comes Darren Sinclair down towards turn 8 here, right down the inside. Very easy to lock up, and Darren Sinclair there makes the move stick, and he's up into 7th place. And already I would say we're seeing these Ultrasoft tyres start to wear away slightly. Darren Sinclair here could be bringing himself back into this race.
Yes, and that was a very tight battle with Lighty. Darren Sinclair almost got out of that battle with front wing damage. He came like 2 centimeters from clipping his rear tire. But as those Ultrasofts start to fade earlier in the race, Sinclair's tires are harder, meaning they'll wear a lot slower. So he's able to maintain his consistent lap times a lot better than these guys on the Ultrasofts.
Here comes Spike then, or sorry, Technique Gaming down the inside of Spike, but Technique backs out of the move there. Didn't fancy going too wide, but up towards they come to the bus stop chicane, and Spike hanging on here. Technique might get a better exit, take a wider entry into the bus stop chicane there. And now coming down towards the La Source hairpin now. Will Technique have a look down the inside? Thought about it, but again, backs out of the move and not confident to try and launch it down the inside. It is still very early on in this race. You don't want to be making mistakes if you're this high up the grid, that's for sure. Here they come then. Technique will have DRS on Spike, and look at the run Technique has coming out of Radion there. They are side by side as they head down that straight, and I'm trying to get the best angle of it, and I was on completely the wrong battle. But that is Technique Gaming then, who's made his way past Spike, coming down the Kemmel Straight. Meanwhile then, Darren Sinclair has found a way past Squeezy, and oh, that is a loss of back end there for Squeezy. Heart in mouth moment there for him, but he manages to keep control of the car just about, and keeps himself in 7th place. But increased pressure from Light E behind him. Watch this battle as it develops. And Noah, we've had a bit of a dramatic start, but someone who's kept their head down for the race at the moment is Blizzard. And talking to him last week, he said wasn't his most confident circuit, but you know, a good result here would do him the world of good. Meanwhile, here comes Spike past Technique Gaming, coming into turn 15 there. Not the best place to overtake, but Spike's made it work. Up into P4 he goes.
We're back on the Blizzard. He is just driving like a man on a mission today. If he can keep on driving like this, I think there would be no doubt that he'll end up on that #1 podium today. But things can change. It's early in the race, and with approaching rain coming, you never know what's going to happen. People can come in, change their strategies up, and perform an overcut on Blizzard, taking the win away from him.
Speaking of different strategies, Light E is the first driver to blink here, and this looks like it's going to be a change onto a set of soft tyres. And this might be a move to try and get him to that rain stint. Sauber boys have soft tyres ready, on they go, and away he goes. And one of the German Saubers then making their way out of the pit lane on a fresh set of soft tyres now. So it's interesting to see now if Light E can get his way up the field then. Meanwhile, Crazy there. What's happened to Plaster? Did he lose it? Yes, he did. Has he got front wing damage? No, he hasn't. Well, that was very lucky then. Must have lost the back end coming out of Radion there. Very lucky to escape with no damage there, Plaster. So here we are then with the battle now, but for 4th place, involving Spike, Technique and Darren Sinclair as they ride through Pouhon now. And you can see already Darren Sinclair has much more grip in those tyres. Those Ultra Softs are starting to fade then. Here comes Darren Sinclair round the outside of Technique Gaming. Not quite there, but Technique Gaming gets a load of understeer there, heading through turn 12. And it's really costing him here as they come up towards turn 14. Darren Sinclair is on him and right on his gearbox. They're going to fly through turn 15 now and coming towards Blanchimont now. You feel like this is a move that will be done sooner rather than later. A little bit of a lag spike there, but I think it's all cleared up now. But Darren Sinclair finds himself further back down the straight then, so maybe Technique running a little bit less drag than Darren Sinclair. As he locks up, heading into the first part of the bus stop chicane. Meanwhile, Traw has come into the pits then. The two Saubers obviously in the same part as each other and discussing strategy. Light E came in the lap before on a set of soft tyres. Now it's Traw's turn. And Noah, you could see there how quickly those tyres had really worn away there. Already signs of graining on those ultra soft tyres. So you've got to be thinking now, what about these other drivers on a set of ultra soft tyres?
I gotta be thinking that they'll be coming in like the next 5 laps, I gotta say, because the wear on these tires are so much, and with those people who already pitted, they're just losing time as every meter it goes on. And if they stay out too long, they could possibly lose their spots and even more. So if I was them, I'd come in about like 2 laps and try to maintain my position, because these tires are just wearing way too fast.
Absolutely. Well, there's a battle here developing between Blood and Sand and Crazy Legs here. And Blood and Sand making his TTL race debut here. He's holding back the Season 7 champion right about now. So not bad going for him so far on those soft tyres. So we'll have to see how that battle develops, as he's actually starting to pull away from Crazy at the moment. Of course, we'll keep an eye on that battle. Meanwhile, Darren Sinclair has caught up to the back of Spike. We've got yellow flags in Sector 2. We'll have to check what that was. That's Squeezy involved there. Let's have a look. He's into the gravel and no front wing damage. But he might have dropped it. Not too sure. We're going to jump back on board with Darren Sinclair as he's chasing down Spike here. And I wonder what this strategy is going to do here. The guys in the ultra tyres. Lambo is in, as is Spike, but Blizzard, interestingly then, has stayed out for another lap.
Well, and there's no doubt that everyone's going to be making up a ton of time on with these strategy calls. And they're probably going to be performing undercut on if he stays out 2 more laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, 3 drivers into the pits then, Lambo, Spike and Technique, all into the pits then, all put on a set of soft tyres, as Crazy Legs there has managed to find a way past Blood and Sand. Up into 3rd place he goes. Yellow flags in sector 3, and not quite sure who that is, but Lighty and Technique going to go side by side here, are they? No, they're not, going through Eau Rouge. So Technique Gaming has been jumped by Lighty then. Lighty has made this undercut work for him and got ahead of Technique here. Speaking of which, Technique is not going to have that for 1 second as he moves to the outside, going into the first part of Les Combes, and he's got the inside line for the second part. Can Lighty hold himself for the third? No, he can't. Technique then makes his way through and up into 9th place as he looks to try and chase down Spike once again. Great move there from Technique, I've got to say. So then, Traw here, the leading soft tyre runner, on Blood and Sand here as they head towards turn 12. Blood and Sand here doesn't make it too difficult for Traw on some new soft tyres, but I doubt Crazy's going to make it that easy.
Yeah.
So Blizzard then coming towards the pit lane now, as that's interesting then. Poe must have pressed the wrong button here because he's emerged on a set of intermediate tyres. I know we said there was rain, but that's a little early to put those tyres on.
I'd say that's an interesting strategy call on their part.
Absolutely, I think that's a wrong press on the MFD there. But Blizzard comes into the pits then to put on a set of soft tyres. Now, where will he rejoin on track? Darren Sinclair will take the lead, but where are the other drivers then? Traw, for example, coming into the Les Source hairpin, and Blizzard here may actually emerge in front of Crazy Legs, and he has done. Well, Crazy Legs will have the better run at the moment because of the apex being further back, and Crazy might have a run at him here. I mean, down the Kemmel straight with the DRS open, Blizzard instantly goes defensive once again, and Crazy here not willing to battle. He's backed out of the move there. Well, that's an interesting call from Crazy. I thought he would have tried a move there. And 2 position changes. Lambo moves ahead of Blood and Sand. Meanwhile, Spike moves ahead of his teammate Plaster up into 7th place there. Both of those happened on the Kemmel straight. And I think the defending driver didn't defend too much there, especially Spike getting past Plaster there. That looked a little bit like team orders there.
And as I was watching Blizzard on his old tires, he about lost 3 seconds compared to his first lap on those old tires, which is tremendous with that fall off, and it proves how much time he lost per lap compared to the people who came earlier than him.
Absolutely. Well, Darren Sinclair here flying through towards Blanchimont, and still on those super soft tyres. So we're looking maybe around about lap 11, or maybe earlier than that, because super soft tyres will definitely not make it to the end of the race. But Poe has retired from the session, and yeah, he's realised that with that intermediate mistake, it means then that he is not going to have a fun race, and retires from the race. Meanwhile then, Traw has managed to find a way past Crazy Legs here, and up into 3rd place he goes, chasing down Blizzard now for potentially the lead of this race. Interestingly then, Darren Sinclair ahead on the super soft tyres. 8.2 seconds separates him and Blizzard right now, and that is yellow flags. Maze has managed to find a way past Pazels here, but Pazels is struggling at the moment. Z3 is still trying to run side by side with him as they head towards La Source hairpin, and no dice from him there. Meanwhile then, oh, Technique on Plaster. Technique getting a little bit of contact there with Plaster there. I'm not sure Plaster will be too pleased with that, but Technique has found that way past, down the Kemmel straight and into Les Combes then. Technique up into 8th place, and I wonder if there's any front wing damage that he's sustained there. As well as that, Noah, who are you? Which battle are you looking at?
I just saw a bunch of smoke while I was watching the battle of Plaster and Technique. I just saw a bunch of smoke in front of them.
Well, that might be, yeah, that will be a Spike there. That you would have seen. Locking up there. He
must have probably a huge walk-up.
Yeah, it's we've talked about this on a previous stream. it's not locking up that much, he says, honest. But yeah, that just like something on the stream's end. Here comes Spike then on Blood and Sand, and Blood and Sand, well, again, just gets out of the way of Spike there, doesn't put too much of a battle up, and making those soft tyres last then, as, well, it can be intimidating being followed by Spike. But Blood and Sand here just looking to try and get to the end of the race and maybe score some points. That's the aim. That's Alan Kay, who's lost his front wing there. Yeah, absolutely. Did you see what happened there?
No.
It looked like I saw some debris.
Just got loose and hit the wall.
Yeah, there was some debris. Yeah, I think definitely looking back at the stream there was some debris on the green wall there on the inside. So maybe Alan Kay lost it coming through a pool on there. Has lost his front wing, and that's a spanner into the works then for Alan Kay's race.
And it looks like Blood and Sand has been pushing his limits a little too much, and he got a 3-second time penalty from race control for multiple warnings.
Yeah, and of course those do add up towards the end of this race. We're looking on board right now, the Lambo crazy battle, as Technique Gaming finds its way past Blood and Sand. Here we have Lambo on Crazy Legs and Crazy on a set of old soft tyres, Lambo on fresh soft tyres. Should be an interesting battle as they head towards Pouon now. And you can see they're Crazy running wide there. Here comes Lambo down the inside of Crazy as they head towards turn 12 here. Lambo has the line there. Crazy backs out of the move, and Lambo moves up into 4th place in this Grand Prix.
It's amazing how challenging this track is for these drivers, because you think how wide open space it is, it can't be that challenging, but when you actually race this track, it's really challenging, and it proves how much DNFs we've already had already. We've had 5 DNFs in a matter of 10 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Lighty and Plaster here battling for position. Darren Sinclair, meanwhile, has dived into the pit lane. And will this be a set of super soft tyres, or will it be a set of soft tyres? I wonder. How much will he risk this? Into the pits he goes. Looks like soft tyres are ready. And it is indeed soft tyres. So there goes Darren Sinclair towards the end of the pit lane. Let's see where he rejoins. And it looks like here he's going to rejoin in P6, just ahead of Technique Gaming there. So a lot of work for Darren Sinclair to do, but not a long way to go in this race, that's for sure.
I almost wonder if Darren Sinclair is trying to push his luck and see if the rain won't make the track wet enough by the end of the race, where he can still be running on slicks by the end of the race. Yeah,
absolutely, and his tyres will definitely be in better condition than the drivers in front of him. We have a little bit of smoke in the background there as Technique Gaming runs a little wide. Let's have a look at some of the biggest winners and losers in this race right now. Well, Blood and Sand is up 9 positions. He's yet to stop in this race, but not a bad drive at the moment from the rookie in this race. The biggest loser of the runners, that is Squeezy Lemon. He's dropped 4 positions so far this race, and he'll be looking to try and get back on that horse as soon as possible. Honourable mentions there, Crazy at the moment up 8 places from his start position, of course, yet to stop in this race, as is Pazels and Plaster. All 3 are yet to stop, but they're all up 8 positions, so not bad going from them at the moment. So let's see all those stops there. Yep, you can see there Pazels, Plaster, Blood and Sand and Crazy Legs are all yet to stop in this race. So they'll be maybe looking to go on to a set of ultra soft tyres, or maybe they'll try and take those soft tyres to the rain. You never know. Maybe that's the strategy they're thinking.
I mean, with the stability of these cars compared to last year, it's possible, because it takes a lot more for a wet track to make these things lose contact than last year.
Absolutely. Still a bit of a challenge though, as Lighty thinks about a move up the inside of Blood and Sand there, but no dice at the moment. And we're flying now down towards Eau Rouge and then through Radion. And here they go, flying up the hill there. As Blood and Sand here, I don't think he's going to put up too much of a fight for Light E here. They are going to run side by side though. Light E is going to have DRS as they head towards Les Combes. And again, Blood and Sand not putting up too much of a fight here. He just wants points today. And maybe that's a wise move. He's in a race of his own right now. Doesn't want to put up too much of a fight. Wants to keep those tyres in check. And maybe just make it to the end of this race. Here we are then with Darren Sinclair trying to close in on Spike. And when you think about it, actually, he's not that far away from Blizzard. If you add up all that time there, let's have a look. Gap to the leader then for Darren Sinclair is 11.5 seconds away from Blizzard. So actually, he's not too far away. But then again, you could argue there's only 11 laps of this race to go. And that could fall into Blizzard's hands. But we do have that rain towards the end of the race.
I don't think that Sinclair is trying to go to the end of the race on these tires. It does not look like he's conserving one bit. It looks like he's trying to go flat out and make it up as many positions as he can.
Normally when I talk to these drivers, they try and make their tires push them towards 80%, but here comes Spike then. Side by side with Crazy Legs. Will Crazy Legs put up a battle here as they head towards La Source hairpin? No, he doesn't. Tucks back in behind her.
Sinclair off the surface.
Well, did he make contact there with Crazy? I didn't quite see that, but yeah, definitely Crazy Legs struggling. And Darren Sinclair here is going to run side by side. Crazy Legs lets him go, and Darren Sinclair moves up into 5th place then, but he's lost a bit of time there. Not quite sure what happened there, but well, Crazy has let him pass, so there we go. Darren Sinclair just has to close up 2 seconds on Spike once again. On fresher tyres though, he might have a chance getting that gap back then. So at the moment we have Mays here trying to close in on Squeezy Lemon. Mays also starting on those soft tyres, taking the super softs to the end, as is his teammate the Gort, who is 3 seconds back at the moment. Mays here loves to score points in this championship, holds the record for consecutive points finishes in TTL. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it was 28 races he scored points in, a consecutive streak, before a disconnection in Brazil ended that run. In fact, that was last season that run ended. Battle we could be seeing here is a battle between Blood and Sand and Plaster. Now, these two are on exactly the same strategy. They haven't stopped just yet. Maybe trying to make these soft tyres run as far into the race as possible. That'll be an interesting battle to see how that goes. Meanwhile then, Mays is really closing up on Squeezy here. The battle for 11th as they head towards turn 12 here. And then through turn 13, and you can see here Mays has much more grip as Squeezy runs wide on the exit of turn 13 as Crazy Legs comes into the pit lane, presumably to put on a set of super soft tyres to get him to the end of the race. Now here comes Mays here. Maybe lost a little bit of time. No, Crazy Legs goes on to a set of ultra soft tyres. Now that's an interesting call. Can he make those ultra soft tyres last to the end?
It looks like Mays is trying to push his car as far as possible, taking a little detour, taking some detours up the circuit and touching the grass on entry. But going back to Mays, he's just an amazingly consistent driver throughout these races.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that pit stop right now, Blood and Sand emerges from the pit lane here on a set of super soft tyres in 10th place right now. And he might be running side by side with the Haas there as they head up Eau Rouge. But he's not.
Through a battle between Lemon, Blood and Sand, and Mays.
And Mays here looks like he's got a much better run here. And Blood and Sand will have DRS. Mays here right on his tail though. Will Mays try and move up the inside? And he will try it. Puts his nose in there. Blood and Sand running wide though. And Mays there moves up into 11th place. And now can try and chase down Squeezy Lemon for a point in this race. Coming towards the end of the lap here, and we're riding with Spike and Darren Sinclair, battle for 4th place in this race. And remember, Darren Sinclair on those fresh tyres, and those clouds are starting to gather, Noah. That rain is on its way.
Yeah, and I'd be asking my engineer right now how many minutes still rain, so you can strategize right now, and you have more time to strategize in your head about when should you pit, or should you just go to the end of the race on these tires.
Absolutely, and of course 7 kilometres of this Spa circuit means that if you manage or want to stay out a lap longer on some slick tyres, you're going to lose a massive amount of time, especially the way the track is laid out here. Darren Sinclair making his way through Eau Rouge and up Radion now. And will he try and close in on Spike? Of course he will get DRS as they head down the Kemmel Straight. And can he get close enough to try and make a move down the inside? He's closing, he's gaining, but no, backs out of the move. He did really think about it there, but couldn't quite make that move stick. Meanwhile, then Plaster into the pits, puts himself up onto a set of ultra tyres. Meanwhile, Darren Sinclair has picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. The Gort, meanwhile, lost the back end there coming out.
On exit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it looks like he just ran a little line down onto the rumble strip and just lost it.
So the Gort then not having his best day at all here. We've got Mays closing in on Squeezy. We've got Darren Sinclair closing in on Spike, heading towards 12 and 13 here. Quite a few battles there, Noah, on the track right now. And I wonder when that rain is going to come.
Well, these drivers are not conserving their tires at all. I think most of them are going to try going on to intermediates when the rain hits. I think like someone like the Gore or Passel or the guy in 13th place may try going to the end on these tires and getting just a good points finish. But it'll be interesting to see these strategies as they unfold.
Well, meanwhile then, Darren Sinclair trying to get that better exit than Spike, then battling for 4th place. Darren Sinclair really wants those points. He's right in the slipstream of Spike as they head towards La Source hairpin. Round the outside he goes, and can he get that better exit there? He wants to keep that outside line. And no, he can't quite get that exit. A little bit of contact there maybe between the two of them, but that was just Spike running a little bit wide there. So now they head up Eau Rouge and then through Radion. Oh, Radion is a little bit cut there from Darren Sinclair. He's lost a lot of time there and a lot of ground on Spike. You can see the live gap opening up to half a second. And yeah, for whatever reason, he just lost all confidence in the car heading through that.
And I can tell you who is loving these battles besides us and the viewers. Blizzard, because he is just pulling away from these battles with everyone running side by side with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. These top three are pretty spread out at the moment. Blizzard, Traw and Lambo. Of course, Traw is in a real race of his own here. He needs to extend that gap to more than 5 seconds if he wants to keep 2nd place. And
looks like Darren Sinclair got on the grass a little bit entering the turn and just got crashed.
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
Lost a ton of time.
Yeah, he has lost time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And I wonder, has he lost a bit of front wing on that right-hand side of his car? I wonder.
No, it looks like he got into the grass because of all the grass on his tires earlier, and he was just trying to save it.
No, I think Darren Sinclair's lost a bit of front wing here. Whatever happened, I think he's coasting back to the pits now. Well, this is dramatic then. Darren Sinclair's charge here. Yeah, you can see how much understeer he got there through turn 17. Yeah, he's lost a chunk of that front wing, so he might actually come into the pits. He does. And this is a disaster.
Leader, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's all about keeping a level head now. We've seen Darren Sinclair in the past do exactly that, but he's just made this race a whole lot tougher for himself then. In he comes, presumably a set of ultra soft tyres, and yes they are, assuming they're a new set. On goes another front wing. And where will Darren Sinclair rejoin? On track.
And I'd imagine that he's absolutely livid from that incident right there.
Yeah, absolutely. 37 points was the gap at the top of the table. That may be coming down some way unless Darren Sinclair can find those 11 seconds to Crazy Legs and get himself back into those high points scoring positions. Well, we have 6 laps to go, I believe, in this race, and Blizzard currently leads the way as he heads towards turn 14 and 15. Now, apparently he's on the Red Wall super soft tyres, but I can confirm through the telemetry there that he is on a set of soft tyres, so obviously glitch in the game does those things. It's a little bit of a shame, that, I think. And here we go then towards that old bus stop chicane. Heading through here now. Nice and easy for Blizzard. Blizzard now deciding to come into the pits. So then, this is an interesting call from Blizzard.
It is indeed, because he is so far ahead, and these tires look freshly new. I don't understand why he would be coming into the pits right now, but he may just be trying to come out with the fresher tires and thinks he has a pace to get back up to the front and win this thing.
Yeah, I think he knows that Darren Sinclair has gone off, and I think he's taken this opportunity now. He could either lead the whole way and get a puncture towards the end of the race, or make a stop now and get some guaranteed points, and I think he's taken that option. He's come in, put on a set of Ultrasofts which will get him to the end of the race, but we have to bear in mind of that rain heading towards this this back end of the race, and if it will come towards the end of the race.
I don't know if he forgot about the rain or if he's planning to use these Ultrasofts and get them through the rain.
Yeah,
My guess is he's planning on getting them through the rain.
Yeah, maybe his team have told him that no rain expected, or at least if there is rain, it will be after the checkered flag. So, interesting call then from Blizzard. Of course, we know it's getting a lot less sunny here at Belgium. The clouds are forming, you can see that in the sky. So, I'm not sure when this rain is coming, but keep your eyes peeled there. You can see now Blizzard.
It is very interesting to see how these strategies are unfolding in Blizzard to be looking to the outside of Spike.
Yeah, now trying to go around the inside. As we saw maybe in Silverstone, he's a little bit aggressive, but can he make that move on Spike? Yes, he can. And through Blanchimont, he's ahead. Spike here is going to stay in the slipstream. He's not going to have any of it. And will he try and move down the inside, round the outside? No, he doesn't. Backs out of the move then. Blizzard then moves up to third place.
And the pace of these new Ultrasofts compared to the old Supersofts are just insane.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We're going to see Blizzard in a second, I think, light up those timing screens with purple sectors all around. So Traw then is in the lead, and the gap to the car behind, well, it was exactly 5 seconds, which is exactly what Traw wants come the end of the race. He does have that 5-second time penalty, and he will have to fight off Blizzard towards the end of this race. And as you can see, no, I don't know if you can tell, but this track is getting darker and darker with those clouds. I wonder if there's going to be rain soon.
Those clouds are forming, and you can hardly see any sun and sky.
Oh, that's Spike there getting a little out of shape. A little bit of a scare then coming out of turn 8. But kept control of the car there. All he's lost is time there. So
I think we should call that the save of the day right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Holding on to 4th place there for Spike. He'll want these points for sure. And well, there's the coverage he wanted, or maybe not. I don't know, Spike. Anyway, we'll move on then to, let's see. I'll have a look at Mays here, because Mays has been behind.
Yeah, Lemon and Mays look like they're about to go at it.
Yeah, I mean, Mays has been behind Squeezy for quite a while now. I'm wondering now if Mays' tyres have started to go off. Well, the sun is still poking through those clouds right now. Traw starts lap 20. We have 3 laps of this race to go. Lambo is 4.7 behind Traw at the moment, with Blizzard 2.7 behind Lambo.
And when would you prefer to put in your fastest time of the race? At the end of the race or just at the start?
Oh, that's a good question. I think on a faster tyre here, with Blizzard putting on the tyres when he did, these tyres are going to be in relatively good shape towards the end of the race. What some people tend to do is put on these tyres too early, and so they drop off towards the last 2 or 3 laps. What Blizzard's done is basically he's timed this Ultrasoft stint to perfection here. He's in a place now where those Ultrasofts aren't going to go off as much as maybe all the others towards the start of the race. If I had to choose, I'd rather attack, because as the attacker here, you've got nothing to lose at the moment.
And he's closing in on Lambo extremely fast. I mean, it's very interesting because there's so far this lap, he's gained about a second on Lambo. And if he can keep this pace up, he may just be able to go and fight for the win. But I don't think he's gonna, or I don't think he's gonna be able to go up to first place because he's 10 seconds behind first place. And you'd have to be making a 5 seconds per lap in order to do that.
Well, actually, he's only 5.4 behind Traw here. And Traw will be hoping that this Lambo and Blizzard battle goes on for a bit longer so that he can get himself that that lead that he needs and that buffer to get him to the end of the race. But here they come then towards the chicane, and Blizzard here right on the tail of Lambo now, as you said, really closing in at the moment, and he'll get that better exit with the fresher tyres, with the optimum tyres basically. Tries to find that outside line from Lambo, but Lambo shuts the door then and through the hairpin. You can already see how much more traction he got out of Lassour's hairpin as they head down towards Eau Rouge and then through Radion. Lambo here is going to try and hold on here.
I think Blizzard's going to have the hardest time getting past Lambo here because he is not going to give up this position easily.
Absolutely not. Lambo here is doing his best to try and defend. He's made his one move here, trying to go take that inside line into Les Combes, and now Blizzard will have the inside line for the second part. But no, Lambo with his tyres can't quite defend from Blizzard. Blizzard here has made his way past. And, well, he's 4.9 away from Traw here. All he has to do is stay within that 5-second buffer. And he'll take the win here through the unofficial results. So that's less pressure on Blizzard then. But I tell you what, it's not going to stop Blizzard from trying to overtake him.
Because Blizzard's one of those racers who don't care about penalties. He wants to go and win the race on that moment. It looks like Pazels has a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, so of course those all add up towards the end of the race, and you can see here how much quicker Blizzard is than Lambo, as he's already opened up the gap to over 1.4 seconds. And is that rain I see? Or is that just my eyes playing tricks on me? I'm not quite sure at this moment in time. But I don't think we're going to have a rain-affected race here, as Traw then starts the final lap of this race in the lead as the clouds really start to form over.
Yeah, it looks like it's starting to sprinkle a little bit on the EV pod, the Blizzard car.
I'm not quite seeing any rain at the moment, but obviously you might have better eyesight than me, Noah, as Darren Sinclair here has managed to find a way past Crazy Legs. Darren Sinclair then in 7th place. He might have a late charge then towards Light E then, 2.1 up the road. So don't rule Darren Sinclair of taking 6th place in this race.
And earlier when Blizzard stopped for those ultra softs, we were like, what is he doing? And that was just a brilliant call on his part.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to guarantee himself that he'd get to the end of this race without getting a puncture. So that's a good call on Blizzard, that's for sure. And I think he knows now that he only has to stay within 5 seconds of Traw. And I think he has backed off a little. As you can see, the gap stabilising around about 3 seconds at the moment. 3.2 to be exact. So I think Blizzard here is playing the smart card. And I don't think he's going to try and close in on Traw as quickly as he closed in on Lambo here. But we'll have to see now.
I think he may be trying to conserve some fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got yellow flags here. That's Pazels in the wall coming out of the final corner. We've got a battle between Z3 and Plaster underway. As we ride on board with Traw then, coming around the final chicane. He's going to cross the line to take the win here at Belgium. But Blizzard here, he knows that 5-second penalty comes into play then. Blizzard here is going to take the win here in Belgium. Lambo then is promoted up into 2nd place, 4.8 behind Traw. So Traw then finishes in 3rd place. We have then Spike finishing in 4th place here. Technique coming towards the line then. He's going to finish in 5th place. Meanwhile, that's Crazy and Blood and Sand. Crazy's into the wall and has retired from this race. Well, what happened to Crazy Legs? Last lap, he's out of this race. Just to give you...
catastrophe right there.
Absolutely. Well, Light E finishes in 6th. Darren Sinclair, meanwhile, finishes in 7th place. Squeezy comes across the line to finish in 8th place. Mays is then promoted up into 8th place through penalties. And Blood and Sand here is going to come across the line to claim his first point in TTL on his first race. Mega job from Blood and Sand there. Here comes Plaster then towards the line. He's going to take 11th place. Z3 crosses the line in 12th place. The Gort here is going to make his way around the last chicane. It's a day to forget for the Gort. He'll come towards the line to take 13th place. And as we say that, yeah, the rain has started to fall after the checkered flag.
It looks like May's AI killed itself. Hitting the car in front, Darren Sinclair's AI.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. And look at that. Look at that, Noah. The rain comes after the checkered flag. Amazing.
I'm pretty sure the only driver to be disappointed not to see that is Blizzard.
Yeah, I think Blizzard here though will take the win here in Belgium with the penalties added up. We'll have to see on the podium. It will show Troy on the top step, but by my calculations, he's going to drop to 3rd place in this race, which is in no way a bad thing in the long run, I suppose. I think Troy will be a bit disheartened that he can't get the win today. A little bit annoyed as well, but we had a great Belgian Grand Prix here today.
So who do you think's the driver of the day today?
Oh, well, we'll have to see what the early voting is like in the drivers' chat then. No, nothing yet in terms of driver of the day votes, but your official, unofficial results, it looks like Blizzard is going to take the win. Lambo 2nd, Troll then in 3rd, then it's Spike 4th, Technique 5th, Lighty in 6th. The Haas of Kevin Magnussen, which was Darren Sinclair, finishes in 7th place. Mays in 8th, Squeezy 9th, Blood and Sand in 10th, Plaster 11th, Z3 12th, The Gort in 13th, Pace was 14th, and all these retirements here, especially that 3-car pile-up going into Eau Rouge and Radion there. We'll have to try and find out what happened in that instant there. But, Noah, your first race then. Enjoy that one?
Oh, I love that race. I think I may want to see more.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for the Belgian Grand Prix then. We're going to go back to the lobby and we'll try and get some interviews into the... or at least some drivers into the party then, which I'm going to do now. So...
all had brilliant drives today.
Yeah, absolutely. Whilst I invite these guys to the party, I'm afraid, Noah, you're going to be cut off from the stream. It's only going to be me speaking. So technically, you can say anything you like at this point. Let's see, who can we invite then? Oh, I think Noah just left. Oh no. Oh, that's a shame. Oh well. I'll try and invite him back, but we'll see. Seeing who I can invite to the party. Okay, I think that's everyone. There will be more, but let's have a look. I think that'll do for now, so we'll send out those invites and we will see who joins us. I wonder who will. obviously eight drivers in the party lobby at the time is all we can do. But the first person to join us is Blizzard. Blizzard,
Hello there.
how are you doing?
Good.
So towards the end of that race, then we had the rain there. Were you predicting that right towards the end?
Yeah, it wasn't actually at the start of the race. It wasn't on the little boxes that you would have the weather on. It wasn't in any of them, so I didn't think it would come at the end. Probably when I saw the clouds, I thought it was going to rain like on the last lap and make me spin off or something, but it didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. So you had the win today. Obviously, Troll finished ahead of you. I mean, were you looking to try and get that position, or did you know just to hold back?
On the last lap, I made 2 mess ups that cost me like at least half a tenth on both of them. I would have kept pushing if I didn't make those, but I did make those, so I stopped pushing at the end.
So what made you decide to put on a set of Ultrasofts towards the end of the race then?
Because I knew the Belgian pit stop is one of the shortest pit lane. I was like 2 seconds behind Spike and he was like, I don't know, 13, 14 seconds behind me. Less than 20 seconds pit stop. So I knew I could have. But I wouldn't have done it if Shaw didn't have that penalty.
Yeah. Did you I don't know if you knew about Darren Sinclair at any point, finishing 7th today. Looks like he hit the wall. Obviously that helps your championship chances.
Yep, greatly. Much appreciated. Do it more.
So I'm trying to think now. 7th place is 6 points?
Yep.
Or is it 6 points against 25? So 19 points you've closed in. Someone do the maths here. 37 minus 19. I believe it's 18 points.
Yeah, 18.
So
19.
overall a good race for you then. And so heading on towards Italy then. Good track for you?
Yeah, I like it. My time trials don't live up to that compared to my others, but it's a good track and just race pace in general.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's a good result for you in Italy then? Continue this winning streak?
Yes.
Great stuff. So obviously now when you talk to us, what was it, last race, you're a bit pessimistic with 37 points behind. Now you're 18 points. What's the feeling now?
I don't know. Cool. I did say I did it last season. I'll do it again.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to avoid that, but yep, there you go. You said it again. But anyway, thanks for joining us, Blizzard. Well, I was going to say I'll see you in Italy, but I'm going on holiday.
What?
Yeah, I know. Maybe someone else will take my place and do a lot better. I don't know.
Nobody can do better than you, Kieran. No one can do better than you.
Oh, stop it. Well, thanks for talking to us, Blizzard. And I will see you, hopefully, in a couple of weeks' time. Weed Nation then, moving on to you. To go through qualifying, to go through all that and be involved in a pile-up at Eau Rouge and Radion. Just talk us through what on earth happened there.
I was, just coming up the top of Eau Rouge. Next thing, I just see Steph's car had just gone sideways. I had absolutely nowhere I could go. That was it. Just collision. Just brace yourself, really.
Did you think you could have had a good race today, barring that?
Yeah, I felt I was going to have a good race. Like, I had a good strategy planned, but unfortunately it just didn't happen. That's all part of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving past this then towards Italy, are you looking forward to that track?
Yeah, very much so. Hopefully there won't be any cars going sideways on track on Italy anyway.
Well, again, it's a very tight chicane for a first corner, so you must be overjoyed about that.
I'll be taking it easy on the first corner anyway.
And what's a good result for you then, heading towards Italy?
Anywhere in the top 10 really. Just start putting more points on the board. Get some more points.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, Darren Sinclair didn't have the best race, but obviously you're still trying to charge towards the mid-pack for Ferrari. Do you think that's still doable?
I think it's still doable. If we have a few, you know, clean races, getting there in the points, being crazy, it's doable.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone's whoa! Someone said in texts in this lobby. Brilliant. Hopefully that doesn't come through on the stream, but it probably will. But yeah, okay. Well, thank you for talking to us, Weed. Hopefully we'll see you in about a week or so, maybe more.
Sure will.
All right then. Thanks, Weed. All right, who's next in the party? Looks like it's Lambo. Lambo,
Good evening.
how are you doing?
Great.
Go on then. Talk us through that race then.
Obviously, I knew Troy had the 5 second penalty, so it's just basically just staying behind him. I didn't have enough pace to catch him and overtake him, so it's just staying behind Troy, gaining the position on him.
Yeah, absolutely. Were you happy with today's result?
Yeah, I did think Darren was going to get me, but I say luckily he crashed.
Yeah. And were you a bit scared for the rain towards the end, or were you confident it wasn't coming until after the checkered flag?
I knew it wasn't coming. When I saw the weather at the beginning of the race, I knew it wasn't going to come.
So how did that change your strategy then? You had the prospect of rain, but the game telling you there was no rain. Did you afford to take yourselves a couple of risks there?
I just played it exactly the same, really. If it was going to rain at the end, I was going to stay out on softs just to risk it, maybe gain a few positions. But yeah, it didn't really affect my strategy at all.
Yeah. So second place then in the race. That's doing your championship hope no harm at all, is it?
Yeah, gained some points on Troll and Darren. I don't think I'll catch Darren, but I guess it's points gained.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've still got a way to go in the season. Are you confident of challenging for the title, or are you ruling yourself out?
I think I'll rule myself out there. Don't think I can get close to Blizzard at the moment. Don't have the pace.
Well, there you go then. Less pressure on you now, isn't there?
Yeah.
Now's the time when you'll start getting wins, I guarantee it.
We'll see.
So moving on to Italy then, how's that for you as a track?
I think it's stronger than Belgium for sure. We'll see though. I think I did decent last season. I think I came second, so we'll see.
Yeah, and obviously what's a good result for you then, moving on from Italy?
Hopefully looking for the podium again. Hopefully, we'll see.
And in terms of championship position, I think you're still in third right now. What's the target towards the end of the season? Is it still top 3?
Yeah, just stay top 3. Try and fend off Troy.
Great stuff. Well, yeah, thank you for talking to us, Lambo, and we'll hopefully see you very, very soon.
Cheers.
Okay, who's next? Keep checking the party. It's Steph.
Hello.
Steph, how are you doing?
Yeah.
So obviously the question I want to ask is I've already asked Weed it. Is that Eau Rouge Radion incident? Talk us through it.
Yes. Well, at the start, got basically a good start of the line. Literally got the lights done perfectly. Right around the outside turn 1. Obviously just kept it on track. Obviously I'd like Squeezy next to me, battling, heading down towards Rouge, but I got ahead of him. Start back in. Obviously following the cars in front of me with like slipstream, especially going up Al Rouge. It's always a bit tricky, especially on full tank of fuel. I was taken up there nice and easy. Released off the throttle a little bit just to get a bit more purchase on top, just to keep us stable on grip. Next thing is I know, back end just decided to literally just snap whilst like gently going left out of early on, and then next thing is just started like literally spinning towards the wall. Literally tried to do everything like locking brakes, turning into spin, and just literally trying to not hit the wall. And obviously got hit by the side, thinking like in Reed, I probably hit into me, which caused this race to go. And then obviously ended my race, and obviously Ollie got caught up in it as well. I did say to the guys like afterwards, like, really sorry about it. I literally did like everything I can to prevent accident happening. It's a shame really, because I had everything like lined up for overall decent race, but it wasn't to be.
So moving on to Italy then. Hopefully you'll have your head up high for that one. Is that a good track for you?
I love Italy. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't happen the same way. Well, same as that last season did. Going around of Lesmo 2, but there's open literally like again just aim for a good decent qualifying like I did today, and obviously not to get ruined like what happened in the race.
And what would be a good result for you then, if you come out of Italy?
Anyway, top 10, but if it's hard, if it's like 7th or higher, bonus. It's ain't that you get points on board, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for talking to us, Steph. Thanks for sticking around long enough to chat to you. Hopefully your luck turns around in Italy then.
Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. Obviously, you won't be there to sit there whatever happens because you'll be on the holiday. So
yeah.
Holiday, mate.
I will try, absolutely. You take care of yourself, Steph.
You too, man. Take it easy.
Who's next on the list? We have Spike next. Are you there, Spike?
Hello, I'm here.
Hello, Spike. How are you doing?
Not bad, yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Talk us through that race then, Spike. P4, you happy with that?
No, not really. I guess I started third, so I didn't really want to lose positions. But car balance was very good for the whole race for me. I was struggling with a lot of understeer, which didn't really improve. It generally improves on the harder tyre for me, but it didn't today.
So, where was your aim for this race then?
Well, I got a very good launch off the line. I thought, okay, I've got a chance into turn one, and then got a bit greedy on the throttle in second gear, and it spun up. So that kind of lost me the small advantage I had of a blizzard off the line. So then at that point, I decided not to go for a move into turn one because it just would have been a crash, and then that gave Lambo a run on me out of turn one, and then I had to give up the position, go down the straight, and then I think I made small contact with him at the top of the hill, which then I nearly lost the car, but I managed to catch it. And then from there, it was. I think I stayed out a lap too long on the ultras as well. I should have come in on lap 5. I had a good tyre on the softs. Lost too much performance on the last lap. I should have come in a lap earlier, which may have given me more chance to stay with Lambo perhaps, but I don't know. It's not too bad. It's not too bad a result.
And some valuable points on the board for you then, Spike. As we're heading towards the tail end of the season, what's your target for championship?
Do you know, I haven't got a clue where I am. I haven't even looked. So I don't know, just to be consistent really. I've had a very inconsistent season, so going to my favourite track next, so I'm looking forward to that. Always go well there, so we'll see.
Yeah, before this race, you had 81 points and you're in 6th. So I think you jumped Siege today and up into 5th right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be your target then? I mean, Traw, Lambo may not be too far up the road.
Yeah, just try and put pressure on them two to perhaps get into the top 3. Perhaps, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Lambo and Traw have got very good pace and very consistent as well. So it's always tough to beat those guys.
Absolutely. So heading towards Italy then, what's a good result for you?
I'll be aiming for the win, but it won't be easy, obviously.
Great stuff. Well, thank you for talking to us, Spike. Good luck in Italy, and hopefully, I won't see you there, I'm afraid, but have a good one.
Yes, thank you very much, and have a great holiday.
I will do. Right then, who is next? Z3 is next on the board.
Yeah, hello.
Z3, how are you?
And not too bad.
So,
Started 19th, so ended 12th.
yeah. So P12 then. Talk us through that race.
Yeah, well, not really that much that happened, but in the first lap, on the straight before Eau Rouge, I don't know what's happened, but two guys ahead of me braked, so I ruined a little of the front wing there. Didn't really expect that, so that set me back a little, but then I just tried to keep it steady and with a little pace, and that went fine until the last lap when I got a little swiped by someone.
Yeah, talking about that first lap, you were one of the last cars to go up Eau Rouge and through Radion, so seeing 3 or 4 cars off the track, that must have scared you a little bit.
Yeah, I was just thinking, what happened here? I thought I had a lousy start with orange front wing, but didn't feel too bad when I saw 3 or 4 cars or what it was after Eau Rouge all standing on the sideline.
Yeah, absolutely. So heading towards Italy then, what's your thoughts on that track?
Love Monza. Just love it.
You love it, absolutely. So what's a good result for you then?
Well, I hope to have a little more progress and get inside the top 10. Anywhere inside the top 10, I'll be happy.
Absolutely. Does it play on your mind that you haven't scored a point yet this season, or does it just motivate you to keep going?
Of course, it plays a little on the mind, but right now I'm gotten a little confidence back, and this race going from second last on the grid up to 12 with a little unluck during the race doesn't feel like too bad of a result then.
Great stuff. Well, thank you Z3 for talking to us. Have a good race in Italy. Obviously I won't see you there, but have a good one.
Thank you.
No worries. Happy holidays indeed. Let's see if we can invite a couple more people then to the party. So,
What was your highlight of the race?
my highlight of the race, I think Eau Rouge and Radion first lap was a bit hectic, for sure.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard Steph there.
I was listening to Steph.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I've ever heard Steph on a race without going, something's gone wrong.
Even when he finished P6 last time out, he was still like, nah.
There you go.
Yeah. I have invited some more people to the party. Hopefully they join. If not, then that'll do it, I guess. I do love a bit of Monza. To be fair, it's a great track.
Yeah, the tempo speed.
Tempo
Amazing.
speed. See, I'm always thinking, you know, put the front wing and rear wing down to 1-1 or whatever. But actually, that's not the quickest way around.
Nah, you lose too much in the corners.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it should be a good one then. It's a shame I'm missing it.
That's okay. We'll
Yeah.
we'll make it very boring.
Yeah, and Singapore too.
Oh, right, you're missing two, are you?
Yeah, I'm missing two. I don't think we're going to have any more. They are. They've provided plenty of action on TTL.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to call time on this stream there. Although last time I did that, Steph joined out of the blue. So, who knows? No. Okay, then that's going to do it for the stream then. I'm going to wrap it up for tonight then. So thank you very much for joining the stream tonight then. Obviously, as you've heard already, I'm probably not going to be here for Italy or Singapore. Hopefully they will get covered. Follow us on the old Twitter page, TTL F1. You'll get the latest updates as to if and when the streams are going live. But until I come back from my nice holiday, I've been Kieran McGinley. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care of yourselves.
Bye.